Chapter 7. The girl carries on staring at me, but I focus on my plate instead. Sneak a look at her from under my lashes. The sides of her hair are shaved short, and now that she's standing in the light, I can see that the tip of her ponytail is dyed pink. She looks really cool, and I think she knows it. Kamal sits noisily and begins helping himself to food. Safia, says Nanny, continuing to feed me, this is not a guest. This is Cousin Tamarind. She's come home, remember? Oh, she sounds annoyed. You know, I don't always bother to read the whole of Mum's letters. She darts me a shrivelling look. I hope you're not staying too long. My chest tightens and I feel the food rising back up. Just as I was starting to feel at home, I'm slammed right back to being the outsider again. Shh, says Miss Aunt Simran. She stays as long as she wishes. Don't take any notice, says Arjun to me under his breath. Sophia's been away at school and she's always like this when she gets back. Sophia folds her arms. I put Tamarind in your room, says Aunt Simran, so you can catch up and make friends. Now, take your bags up and then come and eat. Sophia scowls at me. Make friends? I'd rather sleep in the attic room. In, Aunt Simran pushes her towards the house and follows her inside. She is silly, says Nunny, patting my back. In this house there's plenty of rooms for everyone, but Simran's right. It's nice for you girls to share. Here, have more rice. I can barely get my words out. No more, please. I wish I hadn't come, and I really don't want to cry. Inside, Aunt Simran and Sophia are arguing. But I thought Nanny G said she never wanted to see him again. Sophia is making no effort to keep her voice down. Her words shoot onto the veranda like poisonous arrows. He ruined this whole family. And she, Aunt Simran cuts her off. That's enough, Sophia. He? Was she talking about Dad? Why do they all hate him so much? Why won't anyone tell me what's going on? I grip the edge of the table and think I might throw up. I feel totally homesick, and if only I could get a signal on that stupid phone Dad gave me. I'd ring him right now and tell him to come back and get me. Except I'd be in the way there as well. It's not Tamarind's fault. It's Aunt Simran's voice now. You will make her feel welcome, Sophia, despite everything that's happened. Now go to your room. Nunny staring into the garden, and Arjun squirming in his seat, looking everywhere except at me. Uma comes out with a steaming bowl of lentil dumplings. She puts it in front of me. Shinty loved these. I hope you will too. But I stand up and push past Arjun, not caring if I'm being rude, and run away from the house into the garden, stumbling down the steps. Nunny's voice trails after me. Tamarind Bitter, come back! I keep running, not knowing where I'm headed, everything blurry, feeling more out of place than I've ever felt before. I sprint across the lawn, scraping past bushes, prickly with thorns, desperate to get as far away from her as possible. I'm not going back to the house, and I'm never speaking to Sophia. Does she think I wanted to come here in the first place? My heart keeps thumping, my chest aching and confused. Angry tears steam down my cheeks. How could Dad do this to me? He's left me with people I don't know, who seem to hate him, and he didn't even tell me why. I storm away, even further into the garden, where it turns wilder and overgrown, where no one will find me and I can hide from them all. Blood drums loudly in my ears as I push through tall grasses and stinging nettles as high as my waist, and stumble out the other side. The light is fading and I can't see the ground clearly in the long shadows. My foot catches on a rock, sending me tumbling, and I let out a cry as I land heavily on the grass with a smack, my palms stinging. Arjun said there were snakes in this wild part of the garden, and I quickly lift my head, standing up shakily. Before me looms a row of slender trees, a copse. I brush the mud from my clothes and I step closer. Their bark is papery white, the dark leaves rustling in the wind, making a ghostly shushing sound. Peering between the spaces in the trees where the evening shadows are beginning to appear, I noticed the outline of an old wooden hut, its sloped roof covered in tangles of dense ivy. It's the summer house that I spied from my bedroom window. The one Arjun told me is forbidden. But what do I care now? I feel a strong pull towards the hut, remembering the strange song I heard earlier. The small square windows are strung with cobwebs and the panels of the shed bleached silver from wind and rain. I rub at a dirty pane of glass and put my eye close. There are things inside, but I can't make them out. I find the door and rattle the handle, but it's locked and won't open. I hunt around the doorway. Perhaps there's a key somewhere, but I don't find anything. Around the side of the hut, there's a big plant pot with an overgrown bush in it. That's the sort of place you'd find a hidden key. I stick my hand into the soil and fish about, but there's nothing there. As I kick the ground in frustration, my eyes catch a patch of loose grass, piled into a pyramid shape. When I knock the grass away with my foot, the soil underneath looks like it's been recently raked. I bend low on hands and knees, easily dig my fingers into the ground, and feel cold metal buried about a fist length in earth. I wrap my fingers around it and bring out an old brass key. My heart pumps as I hurriedly slot it into the lock and twist it to the left. It turns easily, like it's used to being open. Placing my palms flat against the door, I push slowly and step inside the hut.